Breaking news now. As you can tell from the thumb, we are going to be talking about two things primarily today. First of all, we are going to be talking about how No Man's Sky has kind of declined in sales and possibly did not meet expectations and maybe didn't add up to all that it was worth. Many people had called out the creator because when the game was first showed at E3 2014, it showed a lot of stuff that's not in the final game, and the creator refused to acknowledge these changes. Now admits to these changes, but didn't think that they were a big deal, and a lot of people are calling him a liar, and that the game is not what was promised, etc., etc. So we are going to turn it over to Mr. Adam Evans, and look now, you can see us. Hello guys, how's it going? You'll notice that Faith is not sitting down. That's because she's not sitting down yet. And wait, here she is. Here she is. She's just a minute.
She's just, getting a cracker.
All right,
crackers are more important.
Adam, what are your thoughts on No Man's Sky? Particularly, like, why do you think people are disappointed?
Well, I think people are a little disappointed. It's one of those survival games that we've seen a lot of recently, especially. But people were kind of hoping for probably just a little bit more from No Man's Sky, a little bit more like multiplayer. I was hoping for a little bit more when it came to like ship battles and piloting your spacecraft. But it still ends up being a good game. It's just, I'm not in the opinion of liking survival collector games.
I did a Let's Play of it a couple of weeks ago. Well, like basically when it came out. And I was planning, in fact, I made a big deal about it. I was like, oh, it's going to replace Overwatch on the YouTube channel. It's going to be Rich Plays No Man's Sky. And Overwatch will just continue to be on the Twitch. And it is. You can still watch Rich Plays Overwatch every Wednesday and Sunday on the Twitch. But
plug.
I'm now, as you can tell by the brand new banner schedule on the front page of the Rich Alvarez channel, we're just calling Thursdays Rich Plays now, and it's like Rich plays this, Rich plays that. So now I can just play whatever on Thursdays. But the point is, I'm not going to make a series out of Rich Plays No Man's Sky like I thought I was going to because of the poor reaction that I got from just me playing the game.
Yeah.
A couple weeks ago, I got people. I wish I had saved the quotes. People were saying, like, what is this game? Like, what are you doing? Like, what's the point? What's the purpose? This game looks boring. Boring AF, etc., etc. People just didn't get it. I guess it ended up, no matter what, it just ended up not being a very fun game to Let's Play and have, like, an audience react to it because there was, like, 20 minutes of me just flying to another planet and then, like, another 30 minutes of me gathering iron. And so it kind of just, it just wasn't a very engaging, interactive experience. So, Jackie, what do you think about No Man's Sky? You were watching me play it.
I was watching you play, and I was actually, like, one of the highest contenders of being like, Richie, you need to get this, because I want to play this, and it looks like a really cool game. And I still stand by that. It looks like a really cool game, although I was hoping that it might have been a little bit faster paced than it turned out to be.
Yes, it's true. I wasn't planning on getting the game, but Jackie was like, "No, we need to get it," and I was like, "All right." So
they need to add a little bit more of a sense of danger to it, maybe.
I don't know. Yeah, I felt like I couldn't die. Like I was surrounded. There was one point where I was surrounded by like three like these drone alien things, and they were shooting at me, and I just wasn't dying because I could just keep when I was getting like low, I could just like rebuild my armor like immediately. It's like doo, 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 doo. So I don't know. There wasn't a real sense of threat, and the collecting ores and minerals just felt like repetitive and tedious, and I mean that's what I was disappointed in. And anyways, the reason why we're talking about it is because sales have slipped 81% or higher since the game came out. Yeah, and so it's like obviously people, word of mouth and bad reviews are telling people not to buy this game, and so now it's turning into what's becoming kind of a flop. So Faith, what do you think about No Man's Sky and what's going on?
So, fun fact, I just got back from vacation. That was a couple days long. And I spent some time with not only my brother and not only Corey Barton, but also my friend, Brandon, who you met earlier, who's an extensive gamer, and pretty much all three of them had a lot to say on it.
So I'm just kind of repeating our conversation at this point, but it's a little bit amusing.
Yeah.
And kind of the general consensus is, yeah, this isn't what I wanted it to be. I wish there was a multiplayer facet to it. It's kind of a weird hybrid between kind of the... You mentioned kind of a lack of danger, and I think in a way, No Man's Sky can resonate as Minecrafty, at least in some ways, when you talk about like a self-generating universe and kind of that the focus is on exploration. So people kind of go into it with this mixed expectation of like, it's sort of kind of like Minecraft, but it's sort of kind of not. But definitely everybody, myself included, on this vacation that had a lot of nerd talk was like, no, it needs a multiplayer facet, and that would really provide a medium for the game to be interesting kind of long term, rather than just kind of being an explorer.
Something like guilds or federations or something.
Yeah. I mean, it just seems one-dimensional at this point, and I think that's what everybody's criticism is.
I think that everybody was excited initially because of the idea of an infinite universe that you could explore.
Yeah.
But it's just not meeting people's... Like, people wanted, like, Star Trek, and they got, like...
Spore hybrid.
Yeah.
The end game of Spore that nobody likes.
Exactly.
That was mean. I'm sorry.
That was... All right. Jackie, any other thoughts on No Man's Sky?
Well... My thoughts on No Man's Sky is that the reason why it's not getting very good sales right now is because when people feel like they have been slighted, they really try and force the game or movie to... I'm trying to collect my thoughts here on trying to explain this as well as I can. Okay. Help me out, Richie.
When people have been slighted, they feel like, you're right, they need to kind of justify their expectations of the game, or that they maybe need to give it a slightly more negative review than it actually deserves.
I think so too.
Because it wasn't what they expected, it wasn't what they thought they paid for, and, you know, da-da-da. So I agree. I think some of the word-of-mouth stuff can be a little bit vicious, if that's what you're kind of getting at.
Yes.
Which is what I'm thinking.
That is what I'm getting at.
Okay.
Because I was going to give an example, like Suicide Squad. It has a 26% on Rotten Tomatoes right now. Yep. And The Room, that terrible movie from Tommy Wiseau, has a 33% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Well, that's because there's some people who like that.
Well, yeah. I mean, like, I'm just giving an example. Like, The Room obviously is not a well-made movie. Suicide Squad is a professionally made movie, and in my opinion, is better than The Room. Although I would watch The Room more than I would watch Suicide Squad. But anyway, like, Sharknado has like an 86% on Rotten Tomatoes, and Suicide Squad's sitting there at the 20s, the high 20s. And so I feel like because DC is just doing the same thing that No Man's Sky is doing, where they're just kind of slighting their fans, that the fans react, and there's a mob going for it, and they try to make it not succeed. So that's what I'm thinking.
Well, so you just answered your own question then.
What was my question?
I don't know. I don't know. Sharknado is a cultural phenomenon, everyone.
I'm just saying that if you look at Rotten Tomatoes, there are some things that are justifiably not well perceived, and things that are just justifiably, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like Siskel and Ebert would have given Sharknado 2 thumbs up.
So I think that it goes with No Man's Sky.
Very well said, Jackie.
Yes. Is it? Was it well said?
The thing about 2016 overall, and, you know, I'd hate to be a negative Nancy here, but it can't just be me. I think that we can all in this room say that 2016 hasn't exactly been the year of meeting our expectations. 2015 was one of the biggest box office years in movie history. It was one of the biggest years for video gaming. This year we've seen, I think, maybe 3 or 4 tops of the big blockbusters have met my expectations. Only one of them, I think, has beat my expectations. And as far as video games are concerned, I think Overwatch is the only game this year that I've actually enjoyed. So it's just been kind of a bad year for movies and video games. And people are like, well, what about Pokemon Go? Well, that's an app. Whether or not it's a video game is up to some debate. But Adam, what do you think about 2016 compared to last year?
Oh gosh, it's kind of difficult because it's not quite done yet. But
That's a good point.
Yeah.
We still have Star Wars Rogue One to look forward to.
Sir.
it sounds like there's a lot of stuff that we're like, just wait till 2017.
Yeah.
But it felt like that in 2015 too, where it's just like, just wait until the next major blockbuster. Just wait until the next major video game. No Man's Sky looks pretty good. It's one of those things where we're getting a lot better at building hype and making trailers than at a faster rate than we are of actually fulfilling that.
Advertising is fantastic for not so good stuff.
There are a lot of just really great trailers out there with movies that do not match.
What would you say,
games.
Faith, 2016 compared to 15?
When it comes to movies or video games or both?
Both.
There was a lot of good stuff in 2015. There really was. And it has been a little dissatisfying, some of the hype that's occurred this year. But personally, when it comes to the video game facet, I'm just excited for all the VR stuff that's coming up. And I feel like maybe, I don't know, like, could some of the false hype about like PC games and about console games be related to the fact that they're trying to kind of get out some really good blockbusters that'll sell well, and carry them into the VR era so that they have kind of that revenue going as they're trying to convert to a VR platform or compete with it?
Yeah. I mean, that's a good note. Maybe they had to cut back on No Man's Sky because they want to put Vive in it.
I don't know. I know that, like, Garrett's super into VR. I'm totally not VR at all.
Anti-VR over here.
Anti-VR because gimmicks. All right, so last year, 2015, it was our first Star Wars movie in 10 years. It was our first Jurassic Park movie in 14 years. It was our first Rocky movie in, I can't even remember how many years, because, Creed was technically a Rocky movie. And it got Sylvester Stallone an Oscar nomination for his 7th time playing the character of Rocky. That is an incredible feat, ladies and gentlemen. And in my opinion, he should have won. But the point was, last year, 2015, was the comeback year. All of these old IPs were coming back in a brand new way, and it was really exciting. It was definitely the hype year. And then I feel like all the companies were like, oh crap, what do we got for 2016? So, what do you think, Jackie, 2015, 16?
I agree with everything that was said.
Ben Affleck over here. I agree. We got Rogue One, ladies and gentlemen. That's the last thing. If that ends up being disappointing, then we can put the bottleneck on 2016 and be like, well, see ya. All right, so I guess that's really it. That's the only thing. Is there anything else besides Rogue One to look forward to this year?
Well, there has been a lot of.
Oh,
sorry. In 2016, there have been a lot of good children's movies.
Oh,
Yes.
Like Finding Dory and Secret Life of Pets.
And Zootopia.
This has been the movie for
For
the
kids.
younger audience.
Yeah.
The movie year for the younger audience. Last year was like the nostalgia year. This year is like the kids year.
Yeah.
I would say in
Doctor
terms of
Strange.
movies.
Oh yeah, Doctor Strange is still coming out.
Oh yeah, that could be pretty good.
We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. My expectations every time is just somewhere down here now.
Window.
All right, Jackie. Any interesting questions relating to anything we've been talking about?
Not too much. Right now, everyone's just starting to come in, and they're starting to be like, what are we talking about now? I just got here. Those are kind of the things that are coming out. But I did get a No Man's Sky question.
10.
DK Galaxy says, if No Man's Sky had all the features that were promised and amounted to all the expectations people had, could it have been one of the greatest games of all time?
Probably.
Yeah,
But it didn't.
Yeah. Well, the problem with No Man's Sky probably was the expectations. if it wasn't for that, it probably would have just been like a pretty okay game. It wouldn't have been hated nearly as much.
Mm-hmm.
But it probably wouldn't have had as big a sale of pre-orders as it did if it wasn't for that either. But that's my opinion of that. Is the biggest problem with it was people expecting multiplayer, a faster paced experience, not having to go back to your ship or whatever every couple minutes to empty out your inventory because they give you like 9 slots at the beginning.
Oh, sorry.
Oh no, you go.
I mean, could you imagine playing Minecraft with 9 item slots and that's it?
No, absolutely not.
Even in creative, that's awful.
I was going to point out that, yes, I think it could have been the greatest game of all time, but there's also the fact that this game takes so much power for a computer to play that with all these things that were left out, I still am really unsure as to why it still runs really bad on really high-end computers. And like my computer, I had to upgrade the heck out of it to just play Overwatch, and now I can't even play No Man's Sky on my computer. But I can run Overwatch fine. I don't know. That might be directed to you, Adam, because you're the computer guru. So,
it's probably just poorly optimized for computer hardware in general.
Yeah.
It's probably because when Sony started to take over No Man's Sky, they probably tried to better optimize it for their PlayStation 4, and probably because the PlayStation 4 actually is a decent powered machine. I believe it's got like an 8-core processor or something like that. And it's probably utilizing more multi-threaded processing than a traditional game would. So they can take advantage of all that pre-rendering for all of these worlds and things. So there's less loading time and stuff like that. So it's probably if you wanted to run it better on a PC, you just get like a 12-core Xeon and you'd be fine.
Faith, if No Man's Sky met the expectations?
Potentially. It's a cool idea. I think people were just expecting it to be far more refined and, as we've all kind of said, engaging than it actually was. So if it had just kind of come out of the blue as this, hey, we made this cool algorithm, check out this game, I think there would be a lot more positive hype about it, because at least, at the very minimum, people would be like, hey, that's a really cool idea, let's see how we can apply that to other games, even though this game isn't all that great. But I think that still, unfortunately, would be a better place for the game to be than what it is right now, which is on the decline. But who knows? Maybe we will see a rendition of this game. Maybe we can take the positive aspects and apply them to other games, and maybe then we'll get what we're looking for. Maybe we won't. But we can hope.
Well, we can always hope for patches and DLC.
Yeah.
Let me pay twice for the game and it'll be good, right?
Did they patch it?
I think they did.
They had a day
it's
one
been patched
patch
a lot.
Yeah.
They had a
I
day
still
one
need to see
patch,
if it's going to work on my computer.
Jackie,
So,
anything?
No.
Next question.
There are no more questions.
That was the only question.
That was the
I
only
saw a lot
question.
of things. People said I felt scammed by No Man's Sky. This was N3G.
Yeah, but those aren't questions.
They're not
Those are
questions.
comments.
I just mentioned a couple of them. He said I asked for a refund. Actually, he asked for a regunned, and then he said
And
refund.
then he fixed it.
Well, I'm like wondering about that. Like, if you pre-order the game and it's not at all what you expected, can you get a refund?
And then, hey, the camera is on. Said,
yeah, they're giving refunds.
what would you guys rate Overwatch on a scale from 1 to 10? 10? Duh.
Overwatch?
Yeah, Overwatch is well good.
We're not on Overwatch yet.
Well, Overwatch was. Oh wait, that's right. It was not part of the conversation yet.
Right. We're getting there. Don't worry. We're going to talk about Overwatch.
I'm trying to remember a password question.
I guess that's it.
I don't
Let's
know.
move on.
Okay, so you want to move on to Overwatch now?
Yes.
Okay.
See, no one likes No Man's Sky so much that they just only don't ask anything about it and just let's move on to Overwatch.
Yeah, let's move on. Let's keep going.
Okay, yeah. Everyone's just burnt out of No Man's Sky. Let's just...
Okay, Adam, how did you say that again?
Eichenwald.
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 Guys, this is the picture of Eichenwald, and there was a fantastic little video showing it's like a little medieval castle area, and I think it's where Jackie doesn't this kind of look like
It looks like the outskirts of that huge battlefield in the
Last Bastion.
The Last Bastion,
Well,
where
if you see the city in the background, there's actually a more modern city in the background there.
oh, is there?
That's
Right.
probably the city from that cinematic.
Yeah, and when
And
when
this is, like,
we,
on the other side or
when they
something
showed the
like
video of
Gotcha.
Eichenwald, there was like a bunch of like Bastion parts everywhere. And
Right.
everything, you know, so we know it was the site of some Bastion battle.
Well,
A
I'm
bastion from a
excited
battle.
nonetheless. And there were pictures of Eichenwald when they first announced it, where there were like little scrapped bastions,
Yeah,
like everywhere.
part of the scenery.
Yeah, it was part of the scenery, which is sad, but really cute at the same time.
Yeah.
That they put those kind of features into the map. I liked it. And I really loved Last Bastion.
Oh yeah, that cinematic
It was so
great.
cute.
I haven't
Reminded
seen it
me
yet.
of like a Miyazaki short.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, so Eichenwald is the new map. Whoops, that's the wrong picture. Let me get rid of this. Oh, crappy. Hey, there we go. Alright. So, Eichenwald is the new map. It looks really cool. I already took it away.
It's like a little castle town.
It looks like the beginning of Beauty and the Beast, like Belle's little provincial town. Provincial town. I wish I'd saved that comic so I could show them the F you, Belle. It's like the town is like, are you serious? Like, we're right here. Anyways, there's a lot to be excited about. Anna came out a week or two ago, and she's a pretty awesome new character. Also, she's Farah's mother, and it also tied up the whole thing where there was the mystery about Soldier 76, and now we know right for a fact that he's Farah's father, right?
What?
He's Farah's
Was
father.
that confirmed?
That is confirmed.
Oh.
Soldier 76 is Farah's father.
Whoa.
Oh, I guess I was the only one that knew that.
And-
Whoops.
Whoa.
You
Spoilers.
guys didn't know that?
No.
What do you think they mean when they're in the beginning dialogue and 76 is like, looks like you get your aim from your mom. And Farah's like, basically, nah.
No.
Because she has resentment towards like a little bit of both of them.
And they've added new dialogue where he's like, "I'm so proud of you."
Yep.
that-
Really?
Yep.
Oh.
Okay,
No one plays Soldier 76 in
I
ranked
play
anymore.
Soldier 76.
No, in ranked.
And yes, he is Farah's father. All right. So, anyways, now that revelation is out of the way.
Spoilers.
Anyways, here's the thing. Anna is a great character, and Sombra, whatever the heck Sombra ends up being, I'm sure
Where
will be awesome.
was that confirmed that it was Farah's father?
In dialogue and in Blizzard YouTube.
Oh.
Anyways, the more you know thing, Faith?
Kind of, yeah.
Faith is doing this. The more you know. Okay. So anyways, what was I gonna say?
Eichenwald.
Eichenwald is a great new map. I'm doing the Fresh Prince thing. Eichenwald is the new map. It looks really awesome. Overwatch is awesome. Soldier 76 is awesome. And it's awesome. Sombra will be awesome. And I can't wait for more characters. And I really hope that they'll be like, I really hope that they have some other stuff. Like, I would really like to play as a Zerg in Overwatch. So I hope they bring some other Blizzard crap into it, which would be really funny.
Maybe. I mean, they've already hinted at like the Zerg sharing a universe with Overwatch.
Yeah, we even know like
Maybe
Diva,
as just an Easter egg.
Diva's supposed to be like an
StarCraft
StarCraft
2
player,
pro,
so I think it would just be fun. It doesn't have to make sense. Just
Yeah.
put it in there.
Like they add a new game mode where it's like Horde mode and you fight Zerglings.
Yeah,
or something. That'd be kind
Zergling
of
is
fun.
Protoss, and you must construct additional pylons. All right. Anyways, Adam, what do you think about the new additions to Overwatch?
I really am excited for the new map because one of my biggest gripes with Overwatch currently is there's not enough maps. So I could always use one or two more of those. And the fact that it's Reinhardt's main place, there's like a map for more or less each character and their location, where they're from. And this one's kind of like where Reinhardt's from. You basically are fighting for the remains of some king, I think. I forget the whole story, but basically he's like the leader of the knights that Reinhardt was a part of, which is very cool, very medieval. I really like it. And it seems like it's on even like a little bit more of a new game mode. You start with a payload and then go to control point instead of going to the payload at a control point and then pushing the payload. So that's kind of like a neat little change on the same formula. So the gameplay might feel a little bit different.
Cool. Faith?
Excited. One thing I really like about Overwatch in particular, as opposed to a lot of other first-person shooters that I've played, is that they did a really good job of kind of giving you the base characters to figure out, giving you the tidbits to kind of connect, and the Easter eggs to kind of start to see the interplay between the characters, but then also they did leave a lot of room to grow when it comes to the story and the canon of what's going on, which I think is super cool, because for me that keeps the game interesting when we're not only adding new maps and new stuff, but when those maps are actually connected to new dialogue between the characters, or a new character, or, you know, this person pops up from 25 years ago, and yeah, I think that's an excellent way to keep the new content in the gameplay relevant and interesting kind of beyond the gameplay.
Gotcha. All right. Jackie, did you have anything to add as far as new additions to Overwatch?
Yeah, I'm really excited for that, and I'm excited to see what they're going to bring to the table, as in new characters, new maps other than this. I mean, I'm jumping the gun on this. If they're already releasing maps, then I'm already jumping the gun and saying I can't wait to see more maps, but I'm really excited for this map. So.
Okay, well, let's turn it over to you guys and your questions. Jackie, who questions?
What? Who?
I know, but Dylan. I know
So-
at least Dylan Ryman had a couple questions.
Yes. So, well, I guess we could skip to Dylan Ryman, since you are so excited to get to Dylan Ryman's question. So Dylan Ryman asks, what would you like playing more, Overwatch or Grand Theft Auto?
Well, see, that's a tough one. I already said that Overwatch was my favorite game of this year. However, I still think that Grand Theft Auto 5 is one of the greatest games of all time. And I cannot, I will just say it here, since I've never talked about this on Nerdy News now. I've talked about this in other shows before. But just the fact that in Grand Theft Auto 5 you could switch to 3 completely different and diverse characters with completely different sets of missions. And when the missions did cross over, you did those missions in a completely different way, taking on different jobs. The way that the stock market worked in the game, where you could build up money. The way that the side quests worked in the game, where you could basically join a different religion or, mess up somebody else's mob. And the way that you can, change your clothes and your appearance. I mean, I could go on for hours. Grand Theft Auto 5 is probably the greatest game of all time.
Whoa.
Except it's not my okay. And understand, this is me, Richie, the critic here. I said it's probably the greatest game of all time. My favorite, because remember, you have to differentiate yourself. This is the mark of a good critic, in my opinion. Just because you know that something's the greatest of all time doesn't mean that it's your personal favorite. My personal favorite game of all time is Chrono Trigger for the Super Nintendo, and only really that Super Nintendo version. I like the PS1 version a little bit. I like the Game Boy Advance version a little bit. Or there was the DS version, but the original Super Nintendo version is still my favorite. Chrono Trigger is my favorite game of all time, but the best game of all time is probably Grand Theft Auto 5. And I will probably get ripped apart for that, but that's okay. Just like the same thing, I say, as a movie snob, Citizen Kane is indisputably the greatest film of all time. It is not at all my favorite movie. I admit that it's the greatest movie of all time. My favorite movie of all time is Jurassic Park. With other movies closely following. But you know what? That's just the way it is, fellas, boys and girls. So Grand Theft Auto 5. So in other words, Grand Theft Auto I enjoyed more than Overwatch. Sorry. that was the question, and that's my answer. You guys, what do you think? Overwatch versus Grand Theft Auto?
Well, I will say that they're fundamentally different experiences.
Aww.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm going with that route. I actually didn't get a chance to play Grand Theft Auto 5.
Oh,
yeah.
You're in for treats.
Right. But I've never really liked the open sandbox game that much. I've much more liked the story-driven, even if you're on like a freaking rail, I much more prefer the more story-driven games than kind of go out and adventure and do things. I'm sure there is a storyline, of course, overarching in GTA 5. But I much more prefer like single point. Like I like Legend of Zelda series where you're going through that and you can kind of learn, keep up on things in lore, stuff like that. Like I played World of Warcraft for a long time, not because I was a raider or anything, but just because I really liked the storyline and the lore.
I was a night elf.
And the characters.
I'm sorry, what about Night Elves?
I was a night elf.
Oh, good.
In World of Warcraft.
Yeah. I was a little bit of
I
everything.
did play WoW back in the day. Faith, what do you think?
There's a special place of anger in my heart for people who trash Alliance players. Just saying. I also have not played GTA 5. Okay, how old am I?
How old are you? That's right. You just turned 21.
21.
Just turned
I should know. I just
So,
went to your birthday party. So
Most of the thanks, Richie. That's right. Most of the GTA games were just a little bit too
above your clearance.
above my
Security
maturity
level.
maturity threshold at the time. So A, couldn't really appreciate the story at the time that they came out. B, stopped playing console games in general when I was like 14 and switched to PC. Kind of haven't looked back. And so yeah.
You can, however, play it on the PC.
Okay. Who knew?
I'm a little bit older than that. But let's turn it over to Jackie.
No.
What year was it released, by the way?
Grand Theft Auto 5?
Yeah.
Oh, just last year, right?
No.
2 years ago?
No.
3 years?
2013. 2013, yeah.
Wow,
3
that's
years
been a
ago.
while.
Yeah, no. I just felt disconnected with the GTA series in general since 2005.
Yeah.
It's probably the last time I played a GTA game. Sorry. I know that breaks your heart.
Overwatch versus GTA.
So, Overwatch versus Grand Theft Auto. I have played a few Grand Theft Auto games. I have not played Grand Theft Auto 5. I've watched you play it, and I really like the storyline. But there's something that intrigues me about games that don't release their backstory, and you have to dive into it yourself. And Overwatch does that so well, and it just got me. It got me so hard.
Wait till you start watching the videos on the Sombra stuff. You'll really like that.
Yeah, that's a question that somebody was talking about.
Because literally, you'll have to dive into it.
Yes, and it just, I don't know. I don't know why I like doing my own research to find out information about a game, and the storyline of a game myself. I don't know.
I think you just get satisfaction because most people are like, wait, I didn't even know there was a story,
Yeah.
It's because people don't understand there is a huge backstory and lore and mythos for every character in Overwatch. You just have to watch the videos on Blizzard's YouTube channel or go on their Wikipedia to figure it out. You have to do some detective work, but there's an enormous, hugely detailed story behind Overwatch, which, in my opinion, yes, I wish that there was a story mode that kind of went through all that in the game. I think that we will get it someday, but, we shall see. Jackie, next question.
The next question is from Rebecca Rain, and she's diving into the whole Sombra Conspiracy thing. She says, hey guys, have you heard of the Sombra Conspiracy? And then I had her elaborate more on that because I wasn't specifically understanding what specifically in the Sombra Conspiracy she wanted. And I had not heard about the Sombra Conspiracy that you first were telling me about, Adam, this morning, and what she went into. She said, in a few of the videos on the Play Overwatch, there have been glitches when recording the glitches the glitches have messages, and all the messages are from Sombra. So that's what she was saying.
So if anyone knows what an ARG is, it's like an alternate reality game. I don't remember if that's exactly what it stands for. It's either alternate or augmented or something like that. But more or less what happens is in the real world, stuff that Blizzard actually puts out that's more like official, trailers for upcoming content, stuff that's on their website and things like that. They're actually hiding in clues that are given to us from Sombra. And when decoded with a cipher or with a password or however these guys figure it out, because it's pretty in depth. Like they turned an image near the end of one of the videos that was when you look at the end of a VHS tape, you see all those colored bars. They turned that into a barcode scanned it, and it came up with like hexadecimal code,
Oh my
which
God.
they translated into Spanish, which translated into English to a phrase said by Sombra.
Oh my gosh, I can't wait to see all
Yeah,
of
it's super cool.
these.
And there's a lot of stuff, like there's a huge Reddit team that's like trying to work on it, and these game code crackers or whatever. There was the longest time where people were trying to figure out Sky code, and if you've been following Sombra at all, you'll know how ridiculous that is. But basically, about a week and a half into people literally taking screenshots of the sky in different maps, and then cleaning up the image until it's black and white with bars, and then reading it out. Someone made a song out of it to try and see if it was... I know, they're trying everything. Eventually, they had to be given a hint being like, stop it, that's not what's going on, just look back and figure it out. And there's like hints in videos where you'll look through the whole video and they'll have like hints like there will be a different arrow in different frames pointing left, up, down, or right. And they had to create a compass to get a password to unlock a code that's in Tracer's Trail in the Summer Games trailer, which then brings them to another clue. And it's like a big old scavenger tech hunt for
Real life
decoders.
treasure.
Right.
Where you're like, hey, look at this little minuscule detail. I'm going to formulate this whole plan and like this whole code based on that one thing.
Right.
And you're just like, whoa, how'd you do that? And it's, wow. Huh.
And we're fairly certain at this point, based on what the messages Sombra has sent us, it's a specific dialect of Spanish that's more commonly found in like slang Mexican language. So we're pretty sure that Sombra is Mexican. And
Well, it makes sense because Sombra is shadow in Spanish. Well, she could also be Spanish.
Right.
Or technically any country. There are so many countries that has, Brazil, Argentina.
Brazil speaks Portuguese.
What?
Portuguese in Brazil.
But there's a lot of Spanish-speaking countries in the world, but we're pretty sure she's from Mexico because she uses Mexican slang.
Yeah,
And we know she's a she. And we're not sure at all what she looks like or what she'll be able to do in the game, but there's a distinct possibility, and we're pretty sure because this is one of the first clues that we were given in terms of the password, was the number 27. And I think the 27th, which is the last day of the summer games for Overwatch, is when they'll either announce or give the next major clue for Sombra.
I've heard this theory too. So, fun fact, speaking of Brazil and Portuguese, I am 1/4 Spanish and I am 1/4 Portuguese. My grandma, obviously everyone has two grandmas, but my grandma that was half Spanish, half Portuguese, often spoke in Portuguese and Spanish and at the same time, and as a little kid, Portuguese and Spanish were the same language to me because of that. So, in my head, they speak Spanish in Brazil because Spanish and Portuguese are the same language.
Got it.
Completely skewed view. But, they are two very different languages based
There's
in
similarities.
Latin,
They're both,
rooted,
they're both,
yeah.
They're both,
Romantic
obviously the same
languages.
language, come
yeah,
on.
same root spots. But yeah, okay.
All right,
Your
whatever.
bumble is forgiven, Richie.
I'm sorry. All right, any other interesting questions, Jackie, besides a
yes.
couple that I saw that I was horrified by?
Yes. Sifting through the weird comments about Richie doing things to people.
Oh, my.
There is,
my.
Hey the camera.
Not like that one.
Hey the camera, who is Dylan, and he would like a shout out. So hello Dylan.
Hi, Dylan.
He says, how would you guys rate Overwatch on a scale of 1 to 10?
We already answered that question, didn't we?
I thought that
You
was
did.
You said 10.
Oh, I did. I
and
said
I said 10.
Faith.
So
Faith?
9.5.
Boo.
It's not perfect.
The half point is that it needs to be one
It's
more.
not perfect.
right, it's not perfect.
But it is solid, and I, like, for better or worse, like, am...
I'm sorry, I'm not laughing. I'm laughing at the comment here. TYBG Mario,
big Blizzard fan. Yeah.
please stop.
You, Richie,
And then he said,
get the
"You're
rest of
talking
us in
about
on
me,
this.
Jack."
Come here.
I am.
Come here.
I am talking about you, TYBG Mario.
Because earlier he said the same thing.
Ah.
I will not. And
He
that is all.
refuses.
I refuse. All right, Jackie. Anything else?
Well, I think that it is a 10. So thank you for asking me.
Well,
It's
there
like,
you go.
but my 10's like an IGN 10, where it's actually like a 9.2.
You're legally obligated to give it a 10. All right.
Blizzard's
there's
paying
another
me under the
question.
table because I could keep giving them hints about Sombra.
Laser Breath 101 asks, who is your favorite character in Overwatch?
Obviously, Soldier 76.
Richie, your fans deserve a more enthusiastic answer than that.
I'm tired. Soldier 76 is my favorite character, although I do also like to play as Bastion when I'm defending Jackie.
You monster.
It's so hard. I don't usually play this character, but I really enjoy his backstory. Genji. I really like him, so I'm going to say that he's my favorite character, although I really like Eva.
Genji is awesome.
I feel
love
you
Genji.
mostly play as Lucio, though.
I mostly play as Lucio.
Because
and
teams
Eva.
can't heal, and you have to heal.
Well, I play as Lucio because I enjoy healing, and I enjoy playing as Lucio, but it seems like the healer is like the last chosen type of character. Like everyone chooses the heavy and the sniper, and they choose all those, and then like there's no healer, and you're like, we need a healer, come on guys, I guess I'll change, because we don't need 8
Tracers.
yeah. So yeah, I usually play Lucio a lot because I'm kind of forced to.
I'm in
but
like
I enjoy it.
I'm in like a similar boat where I have like 30 hours on Reinhardt, and I don't consider myself a Reinhardt main. And my next highest character is Genji at 15, who I actually like to play. Because Genji's my favorite character. He's got the highest skill cap, so there's always something you can figure out and learn on him. But also, I end up playing Mercy or Reinhardt like 9 times out of 10 because no one else wants to.
Yeah.
And I still kind of want to win.
Wake up, Calibros, wake up. Drink some soda.
It's all gone. It's just ice.
You want some water?
No.
No.
Faith?
Hair in my eye. I don't think it's gone yet. Sorry.
Get it out of there. You're not invited here.
Not invited here. I think that's good. I am a Pharah Lucio main. I love Pharah's gameplay so much. She's incredibly easy to understand, but I think she's really difficult to master. I mean, a lot of the characters are. But if you see like a really good Pharah out there or a really good Symmetra, like you can't touch them. Period. Especially if you have a Mercy that'll fly around with you. It's like Pharah Mercy combos that are just stupid good. Like, you literally physically can't touch them because they just stay out of range all the time, and then, you get rocketed, and you try to hit her, and then she just gets healed, and then you're like, well, what do I do? So, I love Pharah's gameplay a lot. If I ever get, like, tired of Overwatch, because it is kind of the same thing over and over, a little bit, I just kind of have to play a couple games as Pharah for me to be like, okay, this is fun again. I also like playing Tracer and Zenyatta a great deal, but I play Lucio a lot because I need to heal, and it's really confusing. One of my favorite things is when I will play a bunch of games as Tracer, and then it's like all of a sudden randomly I need to heal, and then I'm on as Lucio, and then it's like I end up playing Lucio like I would a Tracer. People don't know what to do. Like, they don't expect you to go, Lucio, I'm just going to skate into the middle of the mob and, like, bop around and throw a couple of sound waves out and then just, like, skate out and dip. And then people were like, what? Did that just happen? Did I just, wrecked and pushed off the cliff by Lucio because he straight up charged me? Okay. Yeah. So anyways, all 4 of those characters, but mostly Pharah.
Awesome.
I have to say that there is something really badass about a character that flies around with a jetpack and throws rockets. I think that's really cool.
Yeah, agree. I agree.
Next question.
That's all the questions.
That's all the questions.
Try not to sound so
excited.
excited.
I saw a question about balance changes, which is what I'm looking up.
It's
no! Genji, no! No!
It's alright, whatever they do, I trust Blizzard to balance out
They're
the game
making it
as
so
best as
you
possible.
can't double jump, wall, climb, and then jump after you exited the wall. I'm sad now.
Why? you.
I don't know what Dylan Ryman was talking about Comic-Con. Was he talking about the Palm Springs Comic-Con?
Yes.
We're not going. Sorry.
Sorry, that's a little bit too far for us to travel. We usually go to conventions around the Sacramento area and the Bay Area.
But hey, we'll be at, what's the next con?
SAC Anime.
We'll be at SAC Anime, ladies and gentlemen.
September 2nd through the 4th.
September 2nd through the 4th. See us there in Sacramento, California at beautiful SAC Anime. Love you guys. Anyways, that is all for us. I'm going to go take a nap. And we enjoyed your company here today on N3 Nerdy News Now. I'm Rich Alvarez. And everybody just say goodbye, you know.
Bye.
Did you put up the link switch?
Bye.
End cap.
Keep
end
waiting.
Cap, end cap.
Oh, the mouse is stuck for some reason. There we go. And then I'm going to get rid of this webcam. There we go. Now you can hear us, but you can't see us.
Bye.
Please visit us on Facebook.com/RMIProd, the official Facebook. Instagram at Rich Malvarez. That is where I will be posting later today a spoiler for episode 25 of Stupid Mario. And twitch.tv/RichPlaysOverwatch is our Twitch. And don't forget Patreon. We need your support on Patreon. Alright guys, we will see you next time. Bye.